Are you a runner who feels like you're in a constant battle with your own body? You fix one injury and then like clockwork, another one pops up on the opposite side. You've probably spent a small fortune on the latest, most cushioned running shoes. You religiously use your foam roller. You stretch, you watch countless videos to perfect your running form, but that nagging, achy knee, that tight IT band, or that dull lower back pain just refuses to go away. What if I told you the problem isn't just your shoes? What if it's not even your running form, at least not in the way that you think? What if all those things you're desperately trying to fix are just symptoms of a much deeper issue? It's possible you've been looking in all the wrong places. The real problem is a secret imbalance that has been quietly sabotaging your runs from the very beginning. Stay with me here, because today I'm going to cover it all, and I will show you the first crucial steps to finally fixing it for good. Hey there, I'm Dr. Abby Seiler, a physical therapist with over 15 years of experience helping runners like you and myself, because I'm a runner, get to running pain-free, injury-free, and prevent the injuries in the long run. I'm so glad to be here, and make sure you like and subscribe so that way you're always up to date on the newest videos and the newest tips and tricks that I have on the channel. All right, let's get back into it. All right, so why your usual fixes aren't working? Let's be honest, the advice you've been following isn't bad advice. It's just not complete. It's like trying to patch a leaky roof without ever looking at the foundation of the house. You're addressing the downstream effects, not the upstream cause. Take your shoes. The running shoe industry is built on the promise of a pain-free run. And while the right shoe can definitely make a difference in comfort, it's ultimately a passive support system. A shoe can't fix a fundamental flaw in how your body moves and stabilizes itself. It's a cushion, it's a crutch, not a cure. If your body's alignment is off, a new pair of shoes is just a more expensive way to manage the inevitable breakdown. You're putting a high-tech Band-Aid on a problem that needs a structural fix. Then there's running form. You've heard it all. Run tall, increase your cadence, don't overstride. And yes, these are pillars of efficient running. They're things that I tell people all the time. But here's the truth. You can't force good form onto a body that is fundamentally out of balance. It's like trying to drive a car with a bent axle. No matter how perfect you hold the steering wheel, the car is going to pull to one side. You can fight it for a while, but it's exhausting, inefficient, and eventually something will wear out. That's what's happening in your body. You're fighting against your own ingrained asymmetries with every single step. And finally, stretching and foam rolling. When your IT band screams, what's the first thing you do? It's what everyone does. You attack it with a foam roller. And yeah, it might feel better for a little while, but you're only addressing the tightness, which is the symptom. You're not asking the most important question, which is, why is that muscle so tight in the first place? That tightness is your body's emergency brake. It is a cry for help from the muscle that is being overworked because another muscle somewhere else isn't doing its job. You're trapped in a cycle of treating the symptom, which is why the relief never lasts and the pain always comes back. If you treat tightness with stretching, you're not addressing why it's tight in the first place. So if the answer isn't just new shoes or new running form or more stretching, what is it? The real culprit is a hidden imbalance you've probably never even thought about. Your body has learned to favor one side, creating a subtle but disastrous hip misalignment that is the secret driver behind your chronic injuries. Think about it. You have a dominant hand when you write. You have a dominant leg you'd use to kick a ball with. And you probably have a preferred side that you sleep on. Over a lifetime, those tiny preferences create a pattern of favoritism that gets deeply wired into your nervous system. Now, apply that to running, an activity that is literally thousands of single leg hops. With every stride you take, you are reinforcing this imbalance. One side of your body becomes the strong, overworked hero, while the other side becomes the weak, lazy sidekick. And that's an oversimplification. But this leads to a slight, almost imperceptible tilt or rotation of your pelvis. One hip might be higher or one side might be slightly rotated forward. And this is the epicenter of where everything breaks down and goes wrong. This is the cracked foundation. You might not see it in the mirror, but your body feels it every single foot strike. The pain you experience isn't random. It's a predictable outcome of this foundational misalignment. To really get why this is so devastating for runners, let's use an analogy. Imagine your pelvis is the chassis of a car. It's the central stabilizing structure. If that chassis is perfectly level and aligned, the car drives smoothly. The forces are distributed evenly and all the parts wear out at a normal rate. Now, what happens if you jack up one side of the chassis, even just a little bit? The car's entire alignment is thrown off. One wheel will bear more weight, the steering will pull, and the suspension on one side will be constantly compressed. This is exactly what's happening to your body when your hips are out of alignment. So this small pelvic tilt creates a cascade of compensations all the way down your body. If your right hip is hiked up, your right leg is now functionally shorter. To make up for it, your right foot might have to overpronate or roll in, causing stress on your ankle and maybe leading to plantar fasciopathy. That same hip hike causes your thigh bone to angle inward more sharply, putting enormous rotational stress on your knee. This is a classic recipe for IT band syndrome and runner's knee. At the same time, to keep your eyes level with the horizon, your spine might have to curve slightly, leading to tightness and pain in your lower back or even the opposite shoulder. The head bone and shoulder bone are connected to the foot bone. It's crazy. So this creates two distinct problems. You have the overworked side where muscles like your hip flexors, quads, and lower back are in a constant state of tension. They're doing too much work just trying to hold you together. They become tight, knotted, and prone to strains and tendinopathies. Then there is the weak side, and that's an oversimplification again, but it's the side that where the primary stabilizing muscles, especially your glute med, that crucial muscle on the side of your hip, it's gotten lazy. It's checked out. It doesn't fire the way that your body needs it to keep your pelvis level when you land. This weakness is the true heart of the problem. Your body is a system of push and pull, and if the key stabilizer isn't pulling its weight, other muscles have to pick up the slack. The pain in your right knee isn't a knee problem, it's usually a weak left glute problem. And until you address that weakness, you'll be stuck in that frustrating injury cycle forever. So how do we fix it? The answer isn't complex, heavy lifting gym routine or anything complex at all. The first step is simply to start working those lazy muscles and start teaching, or those weak muscles, and start teaching your body what balanced movement feels like again. And we do this with unilateral exercises, working one side of the body at a time. This is key because it prevents your strong dominant side from taking over and forces the weak side to finally actually show up and do its work. So this is where I feel like a lot of strength and conditioning coaches get it wrong, because the textbook way or the classic way is to say go double leg first or both side exercises first. So a regular squat first before you move into unilateral or single leg stuff. I like to do it the opposite, because if 90% of the time people have an imbalance, have one side that's stronger than the other, and then it compensates. So if you really want to build a good, strong base of support, then you have to break it down side by side and get them on a level playing field first before you start doing that double leg work. So keep that in mind when you're looking at strength training. Is let's start with single leg stuff, build them up simple to the same, and then do the double leg stuff. So, but first let's do a quick self-assessment on you. So I want you to try this right now. Stand up and balance on one leg. Can you hold it for 30 seconds without wobbling, without your arms flailing, and most importantly, without the hip of your lifted leg dropping down? Now try the other side. Do you notice a big difference? Does one side feel solid while the other feels like a house of cards getting ready to collapse? If so, you've just found your imbalance. Now, this is just the starting point, but it's an important one, and one that I do as a quick screen on most people. But here are two simple but powerful exercises to begin with if you notice a difference from side to side. Exercise one is the single leg glute bridge. Why it works. Regular two-legged glute bridges are fine. I love them, but they let your dominant side do most of the work. By lifting one leg, you force the glute on your standing side to do all the stabilization and lifting, directly targeting that weakness that you have. So how to do it, you're gonna lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Extend one leg straight out and pushing through the heel of the foot that's on the ground, squeeze your glute to lift your hips toward the ceiling until your body forms a straight line from your shoulders to your knee. The absolute key is to keep your hips perfectly level. Don't let one side drop. Hold for a beat and then lower back down with control. Exercise number 2 is the side plank. This is the number 1 move for strengthening that all-important glute med. This is the muscle that stops your hip from dropping when you run, the primary cause of all that downstream chaos. How to do it is you're going to lay on your side with your legs stacked and prop yourself up on your forearm, making sure your elbow is directly under your shoulder. Engage your core and lift your hips off the floor, creating a straight line from your head to your feet. Don't let your hips sag. Just holding this position is a fantastic start. Focus on feeling the work on the side of the hip closest to the floor, but then you can start doing repetitions. Here in the video, I'm doing a modified version on my knees because I'm having a little bit of pain and discomfort today, so I'm doing it modified to accommodate for how I'm feeling on this particular day. You don't need to do these exercises to exhaustion. The goal here is activation. So you want to start with 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps of the single leg glute bridge on each side and 3 sets of a 30-second hold of the side plank on each side. Aim to do this 3 times a week. Focus on perfect controlled form. It's better to do 5 perfect reps than 15 sloppy ones. And this is an easy way to incorporate, 2 exercises to incorporate into your traditional strength training program if you're doing one, which I hope you are. If you're not, we can work on that. But do them into incorporate them into your typical strength training program, or at the end of a run 3 days a week, do these 2 exercises just to help you get in the habit and get a little bit better. If you noticed a big difference between your left and your right side on the balance test though, drop a comment below. This is where the community is, and let me know which side felt weaker for you. It's powerful to see how many of us are dealing with the exact same thing. And if you're finding this valuable, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It makes sure you won't miss the next video where we'll get into more advanced exercises to build a truly resilient, bulletproof body. For too long, you've been blaming the wrong things. You've been treating the smoke and ignoring the fire. It's time to stop focusing on the superficial fixes and start addressing the root cause. Your journey to pain-free running begins right here by acknowledging the secret imbalance, which isn't that secret, and by starting to work to correct it. By focusing on building a symmetrical, stable foundation, you are taking back control from the cycle of injury. You can build a more resilient body, and you can finally run strong, run efficiently, and most importantly, run pain-free. I also have the ultimate guide to runners' injury prevention that I'll link down below. It is a section, a document or a program that's broken into body part sections that teaches you some key exercises to do for each body part to help prevent injury and make sure you're the strongest runner you can be. So you can get that in the description below, as well as any of my other programs, and apply for one-on-one coaching. I hope to see you guys next time, and I hope you can help balance out your hips. Let me know in the comments again which side was weaker and what injuries you have dealt with in the past. See you next time.